Ousted Niger President Bazoum's wife, son released from house arrest. Congratulations. So finally, the military junta in the Niger Republic that arrested and deposed their former president Bazoum has been released from house arrest. Bazoum, his wife and son have been released from house arrest by the military junta. Okay, and now that they've been released from house arrest, can they be allowed to get out of Niger Republic? What other conditions did they put in place to enable the release? Let's dive into the details to see what has happened. After the Nigerian President Mohamed Bazoum, his wife and son have been released from house arrest, according to a statement by the Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga. On Tuesday, Bazoum's wife and the son were released after months of being held under house arrest. The Nigerian president and members of his family were committed to house by the National Council for the Safeguard of the Homeland, the ruling party junta in Niger, after he was overthrown July 26 last year. So, Minister of Foreign Affairs has commended the release of former Niger leader. Tuga, who is also the chairperson of the Mediation and Security Council of ECOWAS, said it is a logical step in bringing normalcy back to the country and the region in general. So he reiterated the call to the government led by General Abdurrahman Chiani to hasten the release of Mohamed Bazoum from his custody and allow him to fly to a third country as a step towards further talks on lifting sanctions and to initiate the transition to constitutional rule in the interest of the people, peace and stability of Niger and then the West African region. Can you imagine? So now, so he has been released now, and it's Nigerian Foreign Affairs Minister that has, spearheaded that discussion and that negotiation that led to the release of the man, and now to discuss further how he can fly out to go and get, treatment and get all that other supports abroad. But I think the military junta in Niger need to be very, very careful, because immediately this Bazoum gets out of Niger, he goes probably to France. That is the first place he's going to go. And then this man can plan some military actions from abroad. So they really need to be very, very careful. And then he can also stay abroad and instigate division in his cabinet. And from there, trouble can come for them. So now we understand what happened when the military coup took place, and ECOWAS, under the leadership of Tinubu, wanted to put military action on Niger. They said they were going to overrun Niger. They were going to go there to go and invade the Republic of Niger. When Niger then aligned with his neighboring countries like Burkina Faso, Gambia, and Mali, okay, and a military coalition, and then invited Russia to come and work with them. Then it became a very tough one for ECOWAS to do anything in the Niger Republic, and with that, Niger was able to also send France military out of Niger, and broke their tie with Niger Republic. U.S. is still there. U.S. vowed that they would never go anywhere out of Niger, and we know why they don't want to leave, because what is happening, they are using Niger as a strategic point to handle terrorism and other things in North Central Africa and part of West Africa as well. So Niger is their largest military base in the whole of Africa. So they don't want to leave, because if they leave, it means that they will lose control of Africa as a whole, and China is ready to step in. Okay, and another problem is that Niger Republic is the point where transcontinental gas pipeline is moving from Nigeria to Europe to supply gas to Europe as alternative to Russian gas supply to Europe. Okay, and they don't want anything to happen to that pipeline, because if they leave, In fact, there are several things happening there. So US does not want to leave. But on the back end, we saw how Nigeria was a bit incapacitated, because when they wanted to overrun Niger using the military, it was, calls came from various quarters to let them know that no, you can't do that. Nigerians and Niger share common relationship. They intermarry, they live together, they are brothers, and all of that. And coupled with the fact that some people warn Nigeria that the West want to use Nigeria to fight a proxy war in Niger Republic. And when it was analyzed, it came to be true, because we saw how France and US were putting pressure on Tinubu and ECOWAS to go to war in Niger. But it would have been a very bad one, because it was analyzed as well that if they go to war in Niger, what is the contribution of Nigeria and what is the contribution of other West African nations into that war? It's going to be Nigeria will spend a chunk of the money that will be spent for that war. And at the end of the day, what happens? Nigerian economy will crumble for that, because there's no nation that fight war and the economy remains the same. Once the war starts, first of all, your economy will face a downturn. So with all of that put together, the war did not happen again. Now, even Tinubu himself stopped talking about it to a very large extent. So now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria, who is also, a key figure in ECOWAS, has also gone to do the negotiation, and now the first family that was detained by the military junta in Niger has now been released. Okay, so the question now is, what is next for Niger? And now what is next for West Africa ECOWAS? Is ECOWAS now going to lift the sanctions that they have put on Niger? Is France going to lift sanctions? Is Western world going to lift sanctions? And, what will be the next of Niger now? Is Niger now, the military junta, ready to conduct election and do a handover to a democratically elected government? Because they have vowed that Bazoum will never come back. So they're going to institute their own democratic government. Are they ready to do that this year, or they are still working on 3 years plan like they have initially said? All of that are yet to be revealed or unveiled. But again, congratulations to the president that has just been released from house arrest, and we hope that Niger will move to a stable state from there. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment on the release of this former president of Niger.